Aarav had been searching for a cheap rental house. When the agent showed him a large mansion at half the price, the agent's only warning was strange. Aarav laughed it off, signed the papers. The house was cold and dusty but had charm. He felt like someone was watching him. At midnight, he heard a faint whisper. He remembered the agent's words about midnight. Curiosity got the better of him. The candles flickered as he stepped into the hall. The mirrors reflected another figure standing behind him. When he turned around, the hall was empty. In the mirror, the figure was closer this time. Aarav ran back to his room, slamming the door. His heart pounded as fear took over. From outside, the whisper came again, louder. "You shouldn't be here," the voice warned. The next morning, Aarav tried to convince himself it was just his imagination. He noticed something strange. He found a locked door under the staircase. The wood was old and strange scratches. On the doorknob hung a small rusted key, but his curiosity was stronger. The lock turned halfway, then jammed. As he pulled away, the air turned cold. From behind the door came a faint sound. The front hall was filled with faceless people. He woke up drenched in sweat. On his nightstand lay the rusted key. Written in dust were the words, "Set us free." The door calls to Aarav. The key hums with energy. At midnight, he approaches, hands trembling. He unlocks it. The door creaks open slowly. A dark staircase awaits. Flame flickers in the darkness. Photos cover the walls. A rocking chair rocks alone. One photo shows him. The candle extinguishes. A whisper hisses. "Now you belong to us." Aarav bolted up the stairs, slamming the locked door shut. His heart thudded so loudly, the mirrors no longer showed. As he tried to sleep, he heard faint scratching sounds, voices whispering his name. The wall began to ripple. A pale hand pushed through, a distorted face pressed against. "Help us," it moaned. Faces all whispering, all reaching. A deeper voice growled. The walls went still. The face wasn't asking for help, it was smiling. Aarav fled the mansion in fear. He ran to the old agent, demanding answers. The agent's expression darkened. The house was cursed. It doesn't just watch, it collects souls. Decades ago, the owner was known as the Keeper. He trapped people inside, forcing them to stare into mirrors. When they vanished, their bodies were buried in the walls. The faces you saw are those who couldn't escape. Aarav asked how he could break free. The house chose you the moment you entered. That night, Aarav tried to pack his bags, but the door opened to endless darkness. In the glass, his reflection smirked back, even though his own lips didn't move. Aarav refused to accept his fate. He packed food and carried a hammer, determined to destroy every mirror. Glass shattered across the floors. With each blow, he heard muffled cries. Then he struck the largest mirror. Instead of breaking, the glass rippled. A pale hand shot out, grabbing his wrist. It was his reflection, but twisted. Aarav fought, hammer swinging, until the glass cracked and the figure vanished. Panting, Aarav dropped to the floor. Each piece reflected a different version. In unison, every reflection whispered, "Soon, you will be one of us." For 2 nights, Aarav barely slept. The whispers never stopped. Faces pressed from the walls. Mirrors showed him things he didn't want to see. He traced salt lines across doors and windows. At midnight, the house grew restless. Dozens of shadowy figures crawled out. Aarav refused to be taken. "You don't fight the house." The salt lines fizzled out. The shadows surged forward. Cold hands wrapped around his body, dragging him toward the shattered mirror. His reflection smiling with relief, as if it had finally come home. Aarav woke up in the mansion feeling disoriented. The air felt heavy and the walls seemed alive. He looked into the cracked mirror and froze. His reflection stared back, but was no longer a copy. Aarav stumbled backward, realizing the truth of his fate. Other trapped faces turned to look at him with hollow eyes. They whispered a chilling welcome to the house. Footsteps echoed from upstairs as a new tenant arrived. His reflection smiled at the new tenant. The cycle began. The mansion waited and watched for its next victim.